Hey guys, it's Scott from fxmissions.com. Just a note, I've finished the trilogy of anthologies from the forefront, and all 3 books are currently available on Amazon.
Take your leadership to the next level. It's time for the Foundational Missions Leadership Moment with Scott McClelland of FX Missions.
Hi, Scott McClelland here with your FX Missions Leadership Moment. Thanks for joining us. We're pretty excited today to have Daniel Kort with us. Daniel, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us here. Really appreciate it. We're a little bit of a distance apart right now. I think you're in, I probably won't say it right. I know the German part, but the actual city you're in. Can you tell us that?
That's called Siegburg. Siegburg is actually close, right between Cologne and Bonn.
Uh-huh. Okay, between Cologne and Bonn, and I think the Z is the S is the, I would be saying it the wrong way. So I'm trying to get that in my brain right. And thanks for the pronunciation, though. Siegburg.
That's correct.
Germany. It's close to Cologne, Germany. Thanks again for being with us. You and I have a mutual friend in Tony Hedrick, and Tony and I were traveling together fairly recently, and we had the chance to stay with you and your family there in Siegburg. Thank you very much for having us.
That was a pleasure to have you guys and to get to know you better. It was wonderful that you made that time.
Oh, it was great. Yeah, and thanks for also your family was very, very, we just had a great time with you guys, and it was a blessing to be there and be with you. Yeah. So appreciate very much your hospitality. So, and also your English is great, and my German is non-existent. So thanks also for making communication possible. I appreciate it. Here on the Leadership Moment, we talk with folks from around the world. Thanks to the gift of technology, that's not too hard to do these days. So we had a little bit of technical hurdles there. We got past them. So thanks for persisting. But I wanted to just see if there was something here that you could share that would encourage emerging leaders. You've been in leadership for some time now. You're working in missions. You've got a family. You have a lot of roles that you fill. But is there something that comes to mind for you on the subject of leadership that you experienced that you think, wow, that was a great example that someone gave in leadership, or something that marked you when you think about the subject of leadership in a good way? Is there something that comes to mind, Daniel?
Yeah, if I think about leadership now, I'm at 43 years old, so there has been different stages in life where you have small responsibilities, bigger responsibilities. Sometimes you wonder, what is leadership? What is good leadership? And what comes to mind is actually people who see gifts in you, or leadership gifts. Because if you're 16, 17, 18, you don't really understand what kind of gift or leadership gift you have, because normally only the leaders you have around you are your examples. Let's say you grew up in a church. My church, for example, was about 500 people. So there's pastors, their leadership. So you only look at them and you compare yourself to them. And you said, oh, no, I cannot be a preacher. I cannot be that type of leader. So you compare with what you see, and then you make your judgment. And so I have not thought about being a leader growing up in church. But I do remember when I did a service, a volunteer service for 2 years, that I made a lot of mistakes. I did not as a leader, as a member, as a normal person. Mm-hmm. So I was just trying to bend the rules, seeing how far I can go. So I had always to go to the principal, and he told me, why do you do this, and you're messing up here again. It was a Christian place. So after a while, I really felt I just mess up everything, Interestingly, 2 years later, the same people asked me if I would want to lead a short mission team for 2 months. And I was shocked. Wow. And I said, don't you remember the times where you told me all the bad things I did and the wrong things, and you know how I messed up and didn't fit in? And they said, yeah, we remember that. And I said, and are you actually aware of all my weaknesses? Because if you call me as a leader, you should know my weaknesses and that I really can mess up, you know? They said, oh, we know, we can see. And I said, so why do you ask me to lead a team? And they said, well, it's pretty simple. We asked the Lord of who we should choose as leaders. And you came up, your name came up, your thoughts about you came up. We do see some giftings in you. And so we think it is our responsibility to ask you if you want to lead this team. Now this was completely new to me and basically shocked me because I didn't see what they saw, and what they saw they asked the Lord what
Mm.
what he wants to do with me or for me. So actually after 2 weeks I went back to them and said, I don't think I can lead that team. I don't think I'm equipped enough. I don't think I'm this and all that. And they told me, well, could be, but we really feel the Lord wants you to lead. And if you feel you're not the right leader, then first go to the Lord and discuss it with the Lord, because we will stick with you because the Lord has shown us as a leadership team. I think that was a beginning for me to really start thinking about, is leadership, has it something to do with people just want me to get a task done because they need just people who carry some responsibility, or do people actually ask the Lord and see, Lord, who do you want to have given responsibility to grow for us to build up, because that means building up. It's not just I'm gifted all at once. So that was my first, I would say, experience
Mm.
in direction of leadership, where I spend a lot of time, and even till now, things like this come up in my mind again. When I feel I cannot do it, when I feel it's too much, I come up and say, why are you in this place? Are you sure the Lord has called you? And do people or my leaders confirm that? And so those experiences are still with me to this day, to know, am I doing what the Lord wants me to do? Or even, am I doing things the Lord doesn't want me to do? Just because I have been appointed as a leader doesn't mean I do everything right. So basically what I'm learning is
Mm.
I have to come back to the Lord again and again and ask, Lord, is this responsibility of you? Have you given me this, or have I taken it? Or have people put it
Wow.
on me? And
Mm.
so I think that is constantly coming to the Lord and asking him for confirmation, or sticking to it if he has said do it and he has not told me
Mm.
to let go. In both ways it can go, you know.
Wow. Just curious, did you end up leading that team?
Yes, I led this team, and when
Uh-huh.
I was finished leading that team, they asked me to lead a team for 1 year. So that
Wow.
was the next step, where it was easier for me to say yes to that, because I trusted those leadership above me. And so I ended up leading another team for a whole year, international team.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, they asked me to join it was a discipleship training center, to be the assistant director on that training center. So,
Wow.
so I learned about leadership from those leaders I really respected and honored. And I saw that they don't see the good things in me only. They don't see only the bad things. They take me as I am, and see and ask the Lord, where does he should go? You know, what is he
Mm.
supposed to do? And interestingly, after a couple of years, I worked with that mission, and being in the position of assistant director of the discipleship training center,
Mm-hmm.
people now who were like me, I had to coach. I had to mentor people who were leader. I had to choose leader. I had to train the leaders. And very often I just laughed sitting in my office, and thought, a couple of years ago I was on the other side and just questioning what the Lord had to do. And now I can be part of encouraging those people, those leaders, by the way the Lord had trained me, basically, or shown me, guided me into that place of leadership.
Wow. That is very cool, man. That's super cool. Responsibility and leadership and accepting responsibility from the right source, I think you are saying there. Making sure that you're accepting responsibility. Even when you had a hesitation, I think the Lord must have encouraged you to go ahead, and what they saw in you was proven, I think, both to them and to you. Very, very cool.
Yeah, and the significant thing is about bringing up leaders. In my story was that it drove me always to the Lord, because they said we have taken much time for prayer, consideration. So the way they went about it is they went to the Lord. So learning from them, when I had questions, doubts, or when I was super motivated or everything goes too well, it helped me to remember, what did my leader do? Because the leaders you see around you, the leaders, if they're good or bad, you look at them and either you say, I want to do it like they do, or I don't want to do it like they do.
Right.
And so that kept me, even when the leaders were not around me, when I was on the field, when I was far away, say, well, what did the Lord say? What is the Lord saying now in this situation? So it helped me not just to do a job and to perform some leadership role, but actually to come to the source, where, the source, to the Lord, and asking him for guidance, direction, because this is what I saw my leader doing.
That reminds me of a verse like, consider the life pattern of those who have led you, the outcome of their faith, and imitate them in that way, I think it says. So very, very cool. And a great reminder, Daniel, for all of us to take responsibility seriously and always take it to the source, and considering those who've led us well. Beautiful. That's great, man. I bet we'll double back. You acted like you might not have much to say about leadership, and here we are. That was wonderful. Hopefully we can catch up again with you for a future leadership moment. And also, we're going to have you on our Forefront podcast as well. So if there's someone who wants to reach out and see a little bit more about what you're doing, where can we send them, Daniel?
Well, you can easily find me. I'm part of ACCI, Adventive Cross-Cultural Initiative. And so I'm part of the leadership there. And you can always reach me under Daniel at adventive.ca.
Okay, so it's Daniel, traditional spelling, at Adventive, ADVENTIVE.ca, as in Canada.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks so much for being with us here on Leadership Moment, and we'll look forward to catching you downrange. As for those of you who are listening that would like to contact me or us, please do so at fxmissions.com. And until next time on your Leadership Moment, have a good one.
This Leadership Moment was produced in partnership with Engaging Missions. Have your leadership question answered by contacting Scott at fxmissions.com. Visit FX Missions to learn more about how you can grow your leadership and engage in missions. Visit engagingmissions.com for encouragement, insight, and resources from missionaries, ministry leaders, and church planters.